Hey Prep Squad, this is Paris with Prestigious Prep by Paris. Thank you for being with me today. Today we're going to talk all about test taking. For those who don't know me and don't know my history, don't know my story, please make sure that you watch my first video because that's going to give you great insight into as to who I am and why I am qualified to help you excel in your healthcare career. And because you're here, excellence absolutely has to be near. So before we get started as well, I want to make sure that you're following me on all of my social media platforms. So that is Prestigious Prep by Paris on Instagram, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Make sure you hit the bell so that you can receive notifications every time I drop new videos. And you can also follow me on Twitter at prestige_prep. And then I will also put contact information down below in the box so that you can email me if you have any questions. And I also put some other goodies down there as well as how you can get some great products and save some coins while doing it. So let's get right into the video. Test taking. Test taking is super duper stressful for everybody that has experienced it. It doesn't matter what genre you are taking a test for, it's stressful. So what I want to be able to help you do is take a test as relaxed as you possibly can be. Of course, because the more relaxed you are, the better your chances of getting the exceptional grade that you're looking for. So first things first, let's talk about the study guide. The study guide is going to be key because that's going to be what you're going to look at to reinforce the information that you received from your lecture. Now, you already know that sometimes you will take these exams and they will have 13 chapters that they're covering. And you're wondering, how in the world am I going to be able to take in 13 chapters worth of information and be able to regurgitate that onto a test and do well? Well, what you want to do is make sure that you have a study guide that works for you. Now, some of your instructors will give you a study guide and it will be only titles or headlines. And you're wondering, how am I supposed to work with this? There's nothing on here. What you want to do is get the study guide and then listen in class. Listen to the things that they let you know or things that they say. You want to pay attention to this. You'll see this again. This is going to be important. All of those are very nice ways and very subtle ways to tell you that this is going to be on the exam. Again, even if they don't say those things, there's only so much that can be covered. So what they are doing is trying to cover, or should be doing, or trying to cover all of the most important things that you are going to need to excel, especially when it comes to test taking. So again, make sure that you are taking those. I highly recommend that you use some sort of electronic resource. So whether that be your tablet, your iPad, whatever, your laptop, whatever you have where you are able to transcribe that information, and that way you can send it to yourself via email, or you can have access to it wherever you go, because that's going to be another thing that's going to be important. Not only the study guide and what you put on the study guide, but how much time you spend with the study guide is going to be key as well. When I was in nursing school, I took my study guide everywhere with me. I was getting pedicures with my study guide. I was at the movies on a date during the previews with my study guide. I was taking that study guide with me to family events or social functions. Any moment that I could get, even if it was just 10 minutes or so with the study guide, I would do that. And I found it helpful because what it did is it kept that information fresh in my mind so that I would be able to recall it versus me having to dig deep, because it's been 3 weeks since I looked at the information that was provided. And now I'm expected to take a test and pass it. So again, make sure that when you're creating the study guide, that it makes sense too as well. You want to make sure that if you handed that study guide off to your significant other or a family member or your child, your neighbor, whoever it is that is your support system, that they will be able to read this information and understand exactly what's happening. Maybe not understand all the concepts, but be able to help you. For example, if you create a study guide and it is terms or it's labs or it's metrics of some sort, if you have the actual metric down, what is high, what is low, what are dangerous levels, or just terminology in general, you have your terminology listed and then you have the definition, so you guys could even switch it up. You give them the definition after they give you the term, or vice versa. switch it up to keep, of course, to make it interesting for you as well. They learn a little something along the way, and then you get some positive reinforcement as well. Let's see. Another good thing is you want to make sure that you are not putting too much information in your study guide. Again, don't get in your study guide and put everything out of the book word for word. You're going to overwhelm yourself and you're going to totally miss the point. Again, take the highlights that your instructor has given you during class and then go back and see what are some of the things that you think would be important to remember about this section. Some of the highlights. Again, this takes practice, so I don't want you to feel like the first time you create a study guide that you're going to have it perfect, because you're not. It is definitely trial and error. But at least this way you're spending more time with the information, and so you're able to retain more information than you would versus getting a lecture, taking some notes, and never looking at it again until maybe the night before the test or 2 days before the test or whatever the case may be. So just make sure that you are becoming one with your study guide. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, it worked for me. I know from experience it is definitely helpful. Let's see. I also want to make sure that before you take your test that you have found a way to calm yourself down. Anxiety is very prevalent when it comes to test taking, and it will definitely help you fail. So what you want to make sure that you are doing is taking 5 to 7 minutes or so to relax, to calm yourself down, to get centered so that you can focus. You don't want to take your test anxious. I'm telling you. Any test that I have taken where I'm just anxious and all over the place, it was less than desirable when the results came back in. So I'm just trying to help you because I've been there and I've done that. And I know that it really is hard to focus when you're on edge and you're stressed and you're saying, oh, I didn't even get to look at my study guide. I don't know what I'm going to do. What if she asks me this question? I didn't get to study that chapter. Don't do that to yourself. So be as prepared as you can be and take that time right before your test. What I did, I would always pray. I would talk to God and I would say, you know, Lord, I've studied the information. I pray that you bring it back to my remembrance in a clear and concise format so that I can regurgitate all the information that I need to be able to answer the questions with confidence. Please allow me or help me to not second guess my answers. Let the answers be clear. Let the information be clear. And let me be confident in my testing. And then I would literally take about 5 to 7 seconds to close my eyes and take a deep breath and exhale. Like literally 5 to 7 seconds. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it really is a great opportunity for you to relax your mind, relax your body, relax your spirit, and really get centered so that you can focus. So again, I mean, I've done it. I'm not going to tell you anything that I've not done that didn't work for me. Again, it's not, and maybe it doesn't work for everybody, or maybe other people have other tips and tricks. And again, please leave that information down below. If you have another tip or trick that works for you, please feel free to leave that information down below, because I want to be as helpful as I can. So if that information comes from another subscriber, whatever it is, we all appreciate that information. So that is pretty much all of the information that I want to talk about. I don't want to make these videos so long because I know that your time is very limited, but I do want to start dropping some very brief videos, but informative videos that are helpful to you. But I decided to start with test taking because I know that that is a highly requested video, and I know that with nursing school or with any healthcare career, you have to test frequently. 9 times out of 10, you have about 4 classes where you're in. If you're actually going on site, you're in these classes for maybe 3 to 4 hours, and you have practicum, you have online things you need to do, you have your family you have to balance, and then, you know, all while trying to excel. When it comes to nursing school, when I was in nursing school, getting a 76 was a C. And depending on your program, that is not acceptable. especially for some of the programs or providers that do reimbursement. So I want to help you guys, or ladies and gentlemen, be successful the first time around. Again, thank you so much. Please make sure again that you are subscribed to all of my social media platforms. The videos will be getting to get better and better and better and be more helpful, but I want to give you bits and pieces so that I don't overwhelm you. So again, because you're here, excellence must be near, and I appreciate your time, and I hope that your next test is the very best test you've ever had, and this is the beginning of something great for you. All right, so until the next time, peace.